We are just days away from Super Bowl 59, so it's the perfect time to welcome back a Super Bowl winning coach who's also a Pro Football Hall of Famer. It is the fantastic Dick Vermeil. Hey, Coach, great to see you again.
Nice to be with you, Chet.
Coach, how's the weather down in Key West?
It's about 85 here on the port, so very nice, thank you.
Oh, wow. Well, hey, hard to believe, but last week marked the 25th anniversary of Super Bowl 34, when your St. Louis Rams held off the Tennessee Titans in the Georgia Dome. I'm guessing you still think about that day and that magical season pretty often this time of year, huh?
I do often. In fact, we're going to have a little reunion type celebration in St. Louis on February 20th or so. And, those things keep you thinking about the team and the people on it.
Well, you won that Super Bowl with the Rams, but your two other NFL head coaching jobs happen to be with the two clubs that will square off Sunday in Super Bowl 59, the Eagles and Chiefs. Let me ask you, is this Eagles team with Saquon and the league's #1 defense better suited to pull off a win than the one that came up just short 2 years ago?
I think they are, definitely. And maybe Kansas City isn't quite as good as they were at that time. So it's a combination of both. When you study the numbers favor the Eagles. But, it's so hard to think past Mahomes and Andy Reid in a game like this. So I think it's going to be a great football game, and everyone's anticipating that.
What do you like about this Eagles team?
Oh, the talent. They're extremely well coached. The new defensive scheme with Vic Fangio and the job that Howie Roseman's done with the personnel. And Nick never gets quite the credit he ought to, but remember this, Chet. There are three kinds of coaches in the NFL. One you win because of, one you win along with, and one you win in spite of. And if you aren't in any one of those three categories, you aren't an NFL coach more than 1 year. Now, here he is going on, his fourth year, and he's back in the Super Bowl. You got to give him a lot of credit.
We all know how good Patrick Mahomes is, and I heard an interesting stat last week. He is a perfect 8-0 against Vic Fangio coached defenses. Now, granted, those were Bronco and Dolphin defenses. What is the key to making sure Mahomes doesn't get to work his magic?
Well, you usually say, pass rush and all that kind of stuff and pressure. But the Eagles are more of a coverage team with pretty good pass rush, but not a dominating rush. So I think it'll be Vic Fangio's cover scheme, and also if they can do a good job within their scheme against Kelsey. Usually in the big games, Andy finds a way to get the ball to Kelsey. You can go 2 games and catch 4 passes, the next one he catches 11. So I think those are the big problems, and and their defensive scheme is better than it's been. It was good last year. It's very good this year. The blitz packages vary so much and are complicated and change every week. So that'll be a problem for the Eagle offense.
Hey, we had Paul Domowitch on our show last week, and Domo said that when you were on his show a couple of weeks back, you spoke very highly of Eagles defensive tackle Jalen Carter. I believe that he told us you compared Carter to a certain Eagles legend who wore number 92. Is that correct?
I did. Reggie White. Yeah, he reminds me of that. He's reminded me of that ever since I saw him come to Philadelphia and saw the films on him, the videos and that. He's very, very explosive out of his stance. And for a big man that size and that powerful to be explosive, and that as he learns to use his hands and arms and leverage abilities, gains the experience, and he'll even get stronger, more stamina, which they're playing him a lot more per game now in terms of number of snaps. I think he's close to a Reggie White. I really do.
Well, the Eagles offense this year was powered by Saquon Barkley, fantastic 2,000-yard regular season, and he's going strong here in the postseason too. We know how good Chiefs DC Steve Spagnuolo is. Can they slow Barkley down, and will that force the Eagles to maybe throw the ball more often?
Well, they haven't been an outstanding run defense team, so they're going to have to change your profile a little bit. But I do believe they'll do a better job than most of containing him. With that offensive line, as big and as strong, as well coached as the Eagles' offensive line is, it's tough for any defensive team or coordinator to stop them. They're so good. I think they may do a little better job of preventing the breakout long run, which he's had a number of times this year. But, Saquon, as soon as he came to Philadelphia, I knew what we were looking into was going to be really something great, because he didn't do a bad job when he stayed healthy in New York behind an average NFL line. Behind the best, you get this kind of result.
Hey, by the way, I caught you on WIP last Friday. Did I hear you say you would rank the Mahomes Andy Reid combination above Brady and Belichick?
Well, at least along with. I don't know if you can put anybody, and I don't think Andy Reid would want to be rated above. But you have to say equal. Remember now, Andy Reid's on the offensive side of the ball. Belichick was on the defensive side of the ball. So it's a different comparison. But geez, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody do better. In fact, I know I have never seen anybody do a better job than these two guys together, especially on the offensive side of the football.
Coach, 3 weeks ago, I had a great chat with a couple of your former players, John Bunning and Ken Dunnick. And among other things, we talked about the amazing Bill Bergey, who sadly passed away Christmas morning. They spoke very highly about number 66, the player and the man. What comes to mind when you think about Bill Bergey?
Well, he was such a complete package. And, when I came to Philadelphia, he was the dominant star. They'd given up 2 firsts and a second-round pick for him. And sometimes when a new young coach like me or anybody like me comes into an organization, the superstar is hard to collect and bring into what you want to really do. And Bill bought in and really became a leader. When your best player on your roster becomes your hardest worker, most dedicated, intense player, you got a chance, And I spent the last year seeing Bill once every 2 or 3 weeks. And I've never been around a man with more courage that he displayed, rather than not on the football field, sitting in a couch chair in his home. He knew for the last year that he was not going to make it. And that's why I say don't chew that tobacco. But anyway, all he ever expressed was how grateful he was for his wife and family, the opportunities he had in the NFL that took him out of almost being raised in a poverty level home as a kid. What football did for him, what the coaches and his friends did for him, he was forever grateful, and he never once complained or pouted about his situation or blamed anybody. He knew that the Paco made a terrible, he made a terrible mistake, and he was paying the price. But never have I seen a guy for a long period or any period of time handled with great courage like he did.
We've all heard how when you first took over as Eagles coach in 76, that Bergey referred to you as Harry High School or High School Harry due to the, my way or the highway approach you had. Was that ever a real problem with
you
you
laugh
guys?
when you say that, Chet. You make me laugh.
Was that a problem, really?
Oh, yeah. They weren't used to working. See, I brought a spring practice football type of practice sessions to training camp because remember, we didn't have first, second, or third round pick.
Yep.
We had a third round pick my third year, and they were already losing. Now, how do you catch up? No matter what the athlete is, if you work them longer, harder, better, and smarter, they get better. Maybe never good enough to be an all-pro, but you could take a below average player and make him an average player. You can take an average player and make him a better player. You can take a better player and make him a real fine Pro Bowl player. And that's what my staff and I were able to do with those mechanics. I did the same thing with the Rams my first 2 years. Exact same approach. And most teams don't work people like we work them. But, they both teams, in fact, really started taking pride. They found out that hard work is not a form of punishment. It's a solution. And Bill Bergey, every time I was Frank LeMaster, God bless them, these guys that are gone, Guy Morris, whenever I was with them, they talked about how much pride they took and how much effort they put into becoming a winner.
Awesome.
Well,
right. Let's find out who's going to win Sunday. I know you have a fancy computer program that helps you analyze the matchups. We know how successful the Chiefs are in one-score games. They've won 17 straight in that situation. What's your computer telling you about Super Bowl 59, and what's your gut telling you, Coach?
Well, my computer says they're going to win by 5. The Eagles will win by 5. And the computer, through the whole season, is about 70% correct in picking the team that's going to win. Not anywhere that close to the point spread. And when they're wrong, it normally is they pick the favored team to win and they lose. That's when it's normally wrong. That's normally produced by teams that are winning along during the regular season, all 32 of them, and all of a sudden they play a lesser team and they're not quite emotionally ready to play and they get upset. That's when it's wrong the most often in terms of predicting the loser or winner. So here, there's no question that both teams will be mentally and emotionally prepared to bench against the best. And Chet, as well as I do, the game will probably come down to who takes the ball away, who doesn't give it away, who doesn't get the pass interference call on the 5-yard line and give them first down and goal to go. These kinds of things. Who doesn't fumble the ball? Who doesn't get a bad snap? These kinds of things. And I kind of believe it will go right down to the wire. And both teams have the ability to win it in the last drive. The Chiefs have done it more often. They have more experience. But I wouldn't sell Jalen Hurts short either. I know Andy Reid real well. He will not sell him short.
All right. Yeah, I can't wait. Hey, we usually end with a wine question, so let's keep that tradition going. I believe last year marked the 25th anniversary of what soon to became known as Vermeil wines. How's the wine business looking these days?
We had the best year we've ever had in the Napa Valley, and the wine industry is really down in California.
Yeah.
We had our best year. For the second year in a row, we won the #1 tasting room in Napa. So we're very proud of that. Our wines are getting, for me, almost too expensive. They're very good. I'm not a winemaker, but I know how to put a team together and surround myself with people that can do the right things to make it right. We don't make any money. We make real good wine. We pay all our bills and have a little money in the bank. No partner's taken out $1 since we turned it into a business in 2008. But we all enjoy it. We said, and we can open a bottle of wine anytime we want with the Vermeil name on it. And, it gives me a lot of pleasure because I grew up in some of that environment in Calistoga and the Napa Valley.
And those great wines can be shipped to Pennsylvania and Jersey, folks. VermeilWines.com. Enjoy the game Sunday. And hey, no matter what the outcome, it's one of your former teams that'll hoist the Lombardi Trophy. So, Coach Dick Vermeil, thank you.
All right, Chad. Take care. Thank you.